Well, circles are basically people getting together and wanting to get to know each other because we're all in the same community, and it's the right thing to do as a community to get to know each other. So people get together, we talk, we try to understand each other and where we come from, because we're in San Diego and there is a lot of diversity in San Diego, and so there's a lot of things to learn, a lot of cultures and traditions. If you're someone who loves learning, you're gonna love doing circles because that's what it's all about, learning and sharing, and it's a give and take situation, and it's always gonna be a win-win.
Restorative justice circles are, to me, a safe space to air out whatever I'm feeling or whatever is going on in my life. If you're a new person coming in, I'd like to hear your thoughts, your opinions, your values, because they might match with somebody else who's going through something very similar to whatever you're going through, and that could form a connection. So restorative justice circles is a place where you're building connections, you're building a safe environment together with your classmates.
So if you walked into the classroom for the first time, you might be a little weirded out because you do just kind of sit in a circle with these people that you've just met, or like some people that you're not really too sure about. But it's like once you're finally in it, once you're finally there and you're sitting there and you're really face to face with these people, it's like you're able to like express yourself. It's giving you a safe place to be vulnerable and a safe place to like have someone take accountability. Like, it's not just somewhere you're like, hey, my weekend was good. It's somewhere where you're like, hey, I did this and I hurt somebody by it and I'm sorry. And these people, they're not judging you, they're just here to support you. So it's like this nice little support system that you build with people that you trust.
That's the beauty in circles, because they don't really have to be in classrooms. So it could be done in working environments, family living rooms, and I think that's the best one actually, because I did do one circle before after high school with my family. I think it was during Thanksgiving, and it really made us more close, I think, because people didn't really know what it was and they got more information about it. So I think circles can be done anywhere.
In my high school, community building circles where we get a bunch of chairs, we get in a circle, we do some house rules, and everybody contributes to those house rules so that they feel like, you know, they're involved in the decision-making process. And I do feel like when you do give everybody a chance to contribute to the table, it makes people more willing to participate. As we start with that, we then go around with our chosen talking piece, whatever the subject is. It could be about the weather over the weekend, which you did over the weekend, specific topics. It could even be about the news, the presidential election if you wanted. How do people feel about that? We have a series of questions. Sometimes we build off of those questions, but it gives students a space to talk about things that are not necessarily in the curriculum. But it's still important to discuss those things because the student spends a majority of their day at school. And if they're not learning how to effectively communicate, or even, you know, how to communicate in a safe way, then we aren't doing too much good for them as a school system. That's why I think restorative justice practices are important, especially on campuses, high schools, middle schools, elementary, everywhere. It should be implemented because it teaches you how to work with others, it teaches you how to talk to others, but also how to digest certain information, whether it's, you know, heavy or light.
We moved all the tables to the side. We made an area where we're all gonna sit with each other in a circle. And in this circle, we come together to kind of just talk, to get to know each other, and it doesn't have to be anything specific. I remember we would have circles where we would just talk like what's our favorite song, or what's your favorite show, what are your plans for the weekend. It would start off with an icebreaker because when you initially do a restored community building circle, a lot of the people there don't know each other, so you definitely want to start off with an icebreaker, and then there's always a talking piece. We don't want to interrupt anybody that's talking, so we want to basically give each other turns to talk. So the talking piece was very handy. And then once you're able to break the ice and kind of get into that flow people just naturally conversating or naturally being part of the conversation that is being held in the circle. That's where you can start going a lot deeper with the questions, or a lot deeper with the responses. Students feel a lot more personally connected with everyone else in the classroom. But once they get into a flow, once the students get used to it, once the teacher is involved and doesn't mind sharing what they did during the weekend, or doesn't mind showing that personal side to their students, that's when the community really starts to come together. And I remember for myself, when we first started, one-word answers, one-word responses. Teacher would be the one talking the most, and then by the end of it, they don't want the circles to end.